Hey, Victoria.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, good. We got it to work.
Do we invite others to join us or?
Hi. Yeah, I'm not.
Let's see.
Sorry, it was opened like 3 times on my browser, so I just kept repeating itself. So I wasn't sure when someone was actually talking. I think so. I'm not quite sure how to do it. I posted the link to this on our discussion board, so if someone can't find it, they can go there. But if they gave you your
That's how I found it. As I just clicked on the link. We've got.
Yeah. So we have a couple minutes. I made the event yesterday, so I put the link on the discussion board, so if people need to find it. But if they don't join, I think that you can put their Gmails in on the Google Hangouts page that we were on, like typing each other on, and send them the link that way. I think that's what I did last time. So.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 now, or 6 now, I guess. It's 5 here, 6 there. Are you in Idaho?
No, actually, I'm in Texas.
Oh, okay. Are you in a different time zone?
Yeah, it's 7 here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm in Oregon, so it's 5 here. So have you invited other people to join? Yeah.
No, I have all their emails right here. I wrote them down, but I haven't invited them to join.
Okay. Do you want to give me their emails, and I can type them in and try to invite them?
Sure. We have Paula, and hers is THO 82010
2010
at Gmail.
Did you say THO or PHO?
T, like in Texas.
Okay, so THO 82010 at Gmail.
And Mandy's is MADIWOODS, Mandy Woods. 17 at Gmail.
Perfect. I'm going to send them the link and see so if they get on here. Is there anyone else?
We have Ashley Blegan.
Okay.
And hers email is Ashley Blegan, which is ASHLEY. Oh, and she's got a capital A. I don't know if that. And then Blegan is capital BLEGEN. And that's hers. And then we have, there's Paula.
Hello.
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Paula. We also have Eric Garner. And his is Eric Gardner, which is, he doesn't have any capital letters, but his is ERIC. GARNER. At Gmail. And that's all of them that we've got.
All right. I sent everybody, but one person it only would let me invite them. It wouldn't let me send them the link. So, oh wait, maybe I sent everyone. Okay, well, we'll see if everyone comes.
Okay.
How are you, Paula?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well.
So did everybody get self-enrolled then? Because I was having trouble.
Yeah, I did. The funny thing is, she gave us that announcement, but anytime that I've gone to self-enroll, I've already been self-enrolled. So she must have just done it. So
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
I don't know. It was
But then
I thought-
again, when I went to go check it, I was actually in group 8 this time, and I never did see a group 5. So I'm not sure what happened there.
yeah.
Well, I self-enrolled first thing since I had done the link. I self-enrolled, but on the enrollment thing, it said that there was no assignment for the one, but it was case study number 5,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you know, I sent an email to Sister Sari,
Uh-huh.
and she said maybe everybody hasn't enrolled, so I didn't worry about it. But then she said that note about us all not self-enrolling.
Yeah, she wasn't happy, was she?
No, she wasn't
She was not
happy. Okay, who do we have here? Ashley, is this Ashley?
Yep.
Okay, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
We've got Ashley and Paula, Victoria, and me.
Eric
So
just texted me that he can't connect to the link I sent. So, I mean, I posted the link directly to this on the discussion board. So I told him to try that one.
Okay.
We'll hang out. So we'll see if he can figure out how to join.
Well, that's how I got on, was just through the link on Hangouts. That worked good.
Perfect.
So is everybody glad to be almost done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes. This semester has been long.
Yeah, seems like it.
hmm
I feel bad. My
You guys
daughter
finished?
has until the end of May. Or no, I'm sorry, the
Oh,
end
that
of
is-
April before she gets done.
hmm Where does she go?
She goes to Salt Lake Community College.
Okay. Okay, Eric said it didn't work, so he's going to try it on his phone. Okay, we'll see if he can figure it out. But should we get started?
Sure. Oh, there's somebody else.
Mandy? Oh,
Again.
Hi there.
yeah.
Oh, what is it doing?
One, two. We got everybody but Eric. And I know Eric joined our group late, and I told him he had to touch base with the professor because I know she had a problem with having a lot of people in the group. But
Yeah.
he said that she approved it, so I don't know. I don't know why.
Okay.
You know, my
Sounds
picture
good.
never switches like your guys' picture does. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't mind. But I don't mind being in the corner. I just don't know why mine doesn't switch back and forth like yours guys' do. So,
Oh, that's fine.
but that's okay. All right. Should we go ahead? Or do you want to
That
give
sounds
Eric a little
good.
time to try to work things out?
Oh,
Why don't we
can-
get started? Let's see. Yeah. Who is anybody taking notes for the report?
Nobody's jumping.
No one's jumping.
Okay.
I mean, I could take notes, but I have to work during the day, so if I take notes tonight, I won't be able to get them in until later, so. I mean, if somebody is available during the day who,
Well, they're due Saturday, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I can do it. Oh, well, actually, I better not do it because you have to upload it on the self-enroll link, right? And I wasn't able to do that. I actually enrolled with somebody else.
I am on the self-enroll, so I mean I can take notes, or if someone else takes notes, they can email it to me. 1 second. All right, Eric's just texting me. It's a different email than we saw. Okay.
So I guess I could do that if you want me to take the notes and then you submit it.
Okay, either way, or I can take them too if you want me to. Okay.
Whatever's easier.
all right, should we just go ahead? Did you, Eric, still?
Yeah, I just sent him a new one to a
Okay.
different email that he gave me. So
Okay, so maybe he'll pop in here in a minute. All right,
okay.
let's go ahead and briefly summarize the case.
Sounds good.
This family apparently lived in Gaza. They had a little boy who was 7, Mahound. I'm not good with words.
Mahmoud.
Mahood. Okay. He was 7 years old, was hit by a piece of shrapnel while playing in the doorway of his home. His father found the wound under his arm after his sister brought him. Had to look for it, found a broken rib and a piece of shrapnel that had lodged in his lung. He was taken to the hospital and he was recuperating with his arm in a sling. Okay, this experience with this son brought about the thought of another son, was the same age, who was actually 7 years old at the same time, Ahmed. And he was playing in the doorway with his siblings when rockets exploded nearby and killed him and injured some of his family members that he was with. Many families in Gaza have had these kinds of experiences, and this is referred to as the norm. Okay. When they experienced air raids, they would sleep in the stairwell of their home for safety. After Ahmed's death, the father, because of bad health, he lost his job, and the family had to survive on international assistance, help from his family, and especially help from his older brother. His older brother had a child that was also injured when Ahmed was killed, and he hates to see his younger brother suffer because of those situations. The father, Asama, has had 2 kidney operations. One of the daughters that was involved in the situation has fits of anger and needs psychiatric help. They feel that as civilians, they're being targeted. Another son, Abdul, wanted a gun, asked his father for a gun to kill those who had killed his brother, and he suffers from nightmares. When the ceasefire came, Ahmed, Ahmoud, I cannot do that word. was excited to return to school. Another son that was born was named Ahmed. In referring to that, the other son, named him that so that they would have someone have, I guess they called it having his name around. They hung a picture on the wall of Ahmed, and it was photoshopped, I guess you could say, to have a graduation hat and cap and gown so that they could remember him as he was, and feel as though he had at least grown up to graduate. It says that the family still mourns the loss of the first Ahmed, even though they love the second Ahmed just as well. Okay. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
That was a very thorough description of the case study. So
Yeah.
That was like the whole article. That was great.
yeah.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, sorry I'm
Okay.
late.
That's okay. How about we make one of you guys do the next one? Since I went over the summary, why don't one of you do the list of principles or concepts for the course that can be applied in offering help or direction for this family?
Yeah, everyone can contribute to everyone. Let's see. So one of the principles I talked about was just the principle of resilience. They talked about it in the other article we read this week about how couples, the main thing that helped them in living in war zones was becoming resilient. And I said something that they could do to help them with that would be to hold family councils, discuss their feelings, and mourn their brother and their son and all of the experienced. I don't think that these people have a whole lot of options. And so I think that family councils would be one thing that they could.
Yeah, I talked about mindfulness, being able to take time to kind of bring yourself back together again, take time to just sit and breathe deep and maybe not be so involved in all the war and everything that's going on outside.
And I put in,
Oh, go ahead.
well, I was just thinking, Brother Burrup, in the Resilient, I think it was Resilient Kids actually, talked about when we teach our children, we need to teach them to focus on what they can control and not what's out of their control. And I think
That would be huge.
mm-hmm.
And then along with that, I was thinking, they could do the mood logs and the reflection journals.
Yeah,
Would
I was
help
thinking
them.
that too.
Yeah.
And the double ABCX model, because there's extra stressors from, especially a war type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of extra coping mechanisms that are out. It's not just coping during, it's all the pile on that's after that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because like in this article, it talked about the son who had gotten, his arm injured from the shrapnel, but that was one stressor. But then they had this other son who died, years before. And so this is kind of a, pile up from that. So that's kind of why I thought of the double ABCX model too.
Definitely.
I was also thinking the hidden emotions model, just because I'm assuming he's married because they had, Osama's married because they had another son. But
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
with those two, they really need to make sure they're talking a lot and getting all their stress out so their marriage and family isn't completely torn apart with the war.
Yeah, I was thinking about how they needed to be involved as a family in the recovery of individual trauma, because the description, there were so many different things going on, like the nightmares and the anger and the things like that, and they together in those different areas for those different children so that they could all handle the trauma.
Yeah, it's like everybody had their own thing going on.
Yeah.
Just compounded the family problem, the community problem. And then I also mentioned the truncated roller coaster and the family topology models.
Yeah.
Hmm. I was thinking family typology too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Something I thought would be good for this family, I think I talk about it in another one as well, but just to try to establish a routine as best as they can. They talked about the routines in the family typology model, just to have something, regular things they could have to count on, like bedtimes for the kids, just things like that, even though things are unpredictable, that at least for the most part, they could have these. Someone else talked about having their children focus on things they can control. And so things like that, I think, would be helpful for them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, any routine you can get when you're in the middle of all that is helpful. A
It
little
can
more
be
secure.
something simple, but
Mhm.
Especially because kids need the schedules. They
Mhm,
thrive
Yeah.
off of that.
they do.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that pretty well covered it.
Sounds
Okay,
Under
let's-
100 words.
I think we
Okay,
covered
let's
all
go on to the
the
next list.
models.
Okay, list relevant risks or dangers the family and its members face. Well, I think the biggest risk is death.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, this case study was kind of
I didn't
unique
even think of
because
that.
death and danger like that were their main risks. So
I was thinking also the youngest son who is named after the oldest one. I feel like there could easily be a rift in the family if he feels like he has to be his older brother and replace him.
Good point.
Or the one that wasn't there one in the article that wants to kill everybody as revenge for the brother
Yeah.
being killed.
Another
To me,
brother.
that's a big deal because something like that can, that's not the direction the family should go, and that's a risk. I could see an influence there that would not be healthy for the family.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think it was easy for them to focus on the negative too that was all around them. And like we said earlier, if you can just worry about the stuff you can control and not the stuff you can't. So if they, spend too much time focusing on the negative, then that makes it difficult for everybody.
Yeah. I said,
Ashley, did you have something?
yeah, sorry I couldn't.
Ashley.
The last question, my husband was moving around and making lots of noise. And, yeah. But I was gonna say that I think one of the risks is mental illness. Like it talks about one of his daughters is already needing psychiatric
Yeah.
care, and then how he got even more sick after his son got hurt or his son died. And so obviously there's a lot of mental stuff going on. It could get worse over
Yeah.
time if they're just dwelling on all of this.
What about post-traumatic stress disorder? I wrote that down, but I don't know if that is for them or is it just for to war, like people in the army and
Oh,
that.
it's for them.
I think
for
that
them,
could be
too.
for everybody. That could be for everybody, I would think.
Okay.
Mhm.
I agree.
And this whole
Yeah,
event is a
PTSD
traumatic
from
experience. Mhm.
Okay.
I was also
And-
thinking they could all just be really easily irritable because they're all under so much stress. So they could all end up going their own separate ways.
Yeah, so family cohesion would be important, I think, yeah, because they could just say, I've had enough of this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I talked
definitely.
about that same thing. They face the risk of becoming emotionally distant from each other because they probably all cope with the trauma in different ways, and if those ways don't, if they clash, then there could be problems.
Clash.
So the family cohesion is important for sure.
Yeah. Anything else?
All right, is that about it for that one?
Okay, next one. Let's say list relevant opportunities presented to this family as a result of this crisis.
Well, the good family just bonding together.
You know what? Yeah, the study we read this week talked about how, I mean, it talked about it, how it was positive and negative impacts, but that that they could really grow as a family. I mean, I guess that's so simplistic in any crisis. You can say that about anything, but I found it interesting in that type of setting that was one of the things in the study that they're talking about growing closer and having trustful relationships with extended family as well. So, and their communication and sharing with one another was something that was a positive impact from high security situations like war.
Yeah. I think they had an opportunity to honor their son who had died. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
they
that's a
hung a
good one.
picture of him.
Mhm.
So,
Talked about how they had the opportunity, they could help people in their neighborhood, or not neighborhood, their community as well. I mean, I don't know how much opportunity they have to really connect with other people, but something that if it was possible, they could form kind of support groups with other families who have lost children, or husbands, wives, parents in this war, and so they could talk about just their feelings and their losses, and that could be another way they honor their lost loved ones, is just by talking about them to other people in their areas.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I think it can help them all focus on what's actually important instead of, I mean, a first world country like we are, but it can help them realize that family is really what they want to be around and what they want to be focusing on, and not.
Yeah. Anything else? I think they would have an opportunity to communicate. Like family councils was top on my list. And to be able to communicate, they would have so many opportunities to communicate, and they would have to really take those opportunities, because I think I can't imagine how difficult it could be to be a family in a war-torn country myself.
Right.
They have the opportunity to raise their children to be loving and to be loving in the hardest of situations. Like to take the opportunity of when the son came to the dad asking for a gun so that he could go kill the Israelis,
Mm-hmm.
and make an opportunity into teaching that son, well, they may be doing these hurtful things to us, but they're still children of God, and we need to find a way to love them even in this situation.
Yeah, forgiveness would be a tough one to handle. I think it'd be something you would really have to teach them.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're having so many people affected by the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? Okay. Note the important relationship considerations.
They didn't really mention her much in the article, but I mean, Osama and his wife face the risk of, I don't know, disconnecting, fighting, becoming withdrawn, because it says Osama, I mean, he, just from the way they talked about his health and how much he had worsened after the son had died, that they seem to struggle with depression after the loss of their son, and she presumably does as well. And so they might have a hard time connecting with their other children because of this. So that's one thing I talked
Yeah,
about.
that's what I thought, because the article didn't have her in the article at all. I don't remember her being talked about at all.
Yeah,
No.
she wasn't, I don't think.
The only
Yeah.
reason you think she's there is because they had another kid, like you say, but
You don't know.
I think some of the relationships that could be at risk is just the youngest Ahmed against all the other older siblings that knew the original Ahmed. Because I mean, it could go a couple different ways. If he's not exactly who the original Ahmed was, they could be disappointed with him and feel like, well, Ahmed's here, but it's not Ahmed. Or if he is just like him, they can be like, you're not him, stop being him, or just kind of have feelings of hate and sadness because he's around and their first Ahmed wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah, that to me that would be tough to be named after someone before you.
And to
Yeah,
have
I don't
to
know if
live
I'd
up
ever want to be named after a sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well. I mean,
Understand.
you know,
Especially after one
I
that
know I'm
died.
named after somebody, but you know, it's different when it's grandparents and stuff as compared to
Mhm.
siblings.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, especially after somebody died too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the second son, I think, Lisa, you mentioned he died, but I don't think he actually died, did he? Didn't he just get injured? And they were talking about
No,
how
Watson?
he was able to stay happy, and maybe they might get a little angry with him about why are you so happy? There's nothing to be happy about. So there might
oh yeah,
Oh, that's right, because they had a ceasefire, and yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
actually a good one too.
Mhm.
yeah, and he was excited to go back to school.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the children, the relationship between the children and the parents. Just kind of looking at the children's side, would they get angry or feel anger for the parents? Because it sounded like the parents had an opportunity to leave and they didn't. Would they be angry at the parents for making them go through all this extra trial or?
Yeah, they could.
I would have been.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked about the kids too, like they could become someone from each other and just have a hard time with other people as they grow older if they're being, so socially oppressed. If they, up until the end when we find out that there's been a ceasefire, they haven't been able to go to school and they probably have to stay close to home often. So I think that would be hard for them as they grow up as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was sorry. He woke up or got woken up from a nap. But I don't know if this was mentioned because I was chasing him around, but I think the relationship between the children, was that talked about?
A little bit, but if you have more, that's fine.
Yeah, you can expand.
Yeah, so like I could see how losing that brother and then the parents being so upset about that and then the competition between the siblings starting like for attention from their parents. That could be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Next one is recommended coping strategies.
Hmm.
And I know we talked earlier about mood logs. What was it, Paula? Did you talk about mood logs and something else?
So like council.
Reflection journals and the family councils, yeah.
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 Yeah, this is where I talked a
And
lot
if they
about
have
family councils and routines.
Yeah.
That you do.
Let's say journaling,
Yeah, journaling, family councils.
therapy.
Yeah, I think we covered a bunch of those too.
Do you think there's really anything different than what we mentioned up above in the
I think that they're about the same kinds of things
Yeah.
that you do.
They may be
Yeah.
like praying. I don't know if they're religious, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have some kind of a law
I-
that they're
They
breaking.
I bet
They
they
might
would,
need to do some overcoming some of their negative thinking by doing the mood logs or doing cognitive behavior therapy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be really hard not to be thinking negatively all the time. So, I mean, you'd really
Yeah.
have to be focusing on having positive thoughts. So, the mindfulness, I think, would be especially important for them.
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah,
if they
I
had
put learning to
that
forgive.
professional counseling, I
Yeah.
don't know if they could get that, but that would be pretty important.
yeah.
Well, they said that she had
I would
that
think
one of the
too.
daughters had psychiatric help, so they had some.
Oh,
They
yeah.
probably
as
need to
far as-
all have it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, some sort of family counseling's in addition to.
Yeah.
All the family at once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
together.
family and individual.
My thought was to have them discuss the ABCX, the double ABCX model with the therapist. Just get an
Yeah, that's a
outside
good.
view.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think the ABCX model would be good for the kids because it would be a possibility for them to understand because it's one of the simpler ones.
Mhm.
And maybe in couple therapy of some sort, maybe one of the more advanced and deeper ones because then couples could be more connected in a deeper sense of that model. So
Yeah.
sometimes when they talk about the specific models, I think, well, all of them have great and wonderful things. It just depends what works for the families.
True.
Okay, the next one, recommendations for supporting involved parties.
My first
I think
thought was
just
to
kind of-
treat Ahmed Jr. as a normal person and his own person.
Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely.
I think if people could just be there
I
to
know.
listen,
Yeah.
try to
Now,
listen.
I put, community support members.
Yeah.
And I know Victoria talked about getting, groups together who had maybe lost children or lost somebody in the ward to sit and talk. And I think that would be good, involving community members and family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
I
because
said they.
wasn't one of the was it his brother? I don't know. I can't remember now. But the brother was helping out or something because he couldn't work, or I can't
Yeah.
remember the whole gist
Yeah,
of it.
it was his older brother was helping out when he was unable to work. So
Yeah. And then they were getting international assistance, I believe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's some of the recommendations that they talked about is international help and
Mhm.
I don't know, Salvation Army type things, where
Yeah.
they can be helped that way. Anything else? Okay, additional resources you may provide or suggest. We already mentioned family counseling and individual
Yeah,
counseling.
This is where I talked about religion, whether it was bringing in teaching about the plan of salvation to people who have lost family, or just, they may have a different religion and belief system that can at this time. So I just thought about turning to God and helping the people to do that would be an additional resource.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I never thought about that. Anything else? I don't know as far as the family and, keeping the family together, working with the extended family. We've already mentioned that. As far as providing for them, additional resources would be basically anything that, and for a war-torn country, like missionaries doing a service mission or to help them, and I don't know, new jobs, areas being built up so that there are jobs available for the people who still reside there so that they could live a better life, because it doesn't seem to me like they really had much of a economy, and I don't know how you can have much of an economy in a war-torn country, but
I like the job search idea.
yeah.
Maybe
Anything
get him
else?
training on new things that he can do.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be, education might be a good thing. I don't know, if there would be businesses or companies or somebody who could bring in education and not only to make the schools better for the children, but maybe to get further the education of the parents or maybe older men. I mean, because I don't know, it doesn't say how long this war lasted, but if you had a son who was 7 who died, and then he has another son who is 7 who was hurt by that shrapnel, and that, there has to be at least some time, a few years. So, there may be people who are available to go to college or further their education that way, as well as doing the school system for the younger children.
No, I think education is an important one because
Yeah.
it can help the parents, it can help the children for their futures. So maybe it can help them. Maybe education can give the children opportunities to leave the war-torn country
Yeah.
and study abroad somewhere safer. So things like that would be definitely helpful.
Yeah.
Plus, that falls into the area of things that you can control a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can improve yourself, even if you can't necessarily improve what's going on out there.
Exactly.
Okay. That's the end of it, I believe.
That was the last question.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to add to it?
I think that
No?
sounds good.
Everybody
doesn't-
seems to. Okay. So Paula, you'll type it up? Or
Yeah.
you probably have it typed up, just add our stuff to your stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
and
can,
I've been typing as we go, but Victoria, can I send it to you and you can maybe just add a few things on these short ones I don't know?
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just send it to
What to
me.
do.
I'll add, if anything needs to be added, I'll add it and then I'll submit it through mine.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Okay, so we'll have it all covered as far as submitting and sending the link to her so she has the link and all that.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
Victoria, you've already got the recording part that you can send, right?
Yes, I have the link for the recording. I can add to it. And yeah,
All right.
and I'm self-enrolled, so I have the assignment open on mine too to add.
Okay. Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
I guess that's it then. Is there anything else we all need to? Everybody's good?
I think so.
Everybody's
Sounds good.
breathing easy? It's over?
It's
It
getting there.
is. I'm glad we got it figured out. The
Okay.
thing, so.
All right.
Teamwork.
Yeah, if you need anything, Victoria, just email me or text me, whatever. And
Okay.
when you finish it, do you want to email it to everybody and so we can all look and just make sure that it's got everything in it we want? Or
I can
Yeah,
do that.
I can email it to the Gmail group, and I'll add Eric's on there because I don't think his is on there, but I'll add his email on there.
okay, and if everybody could just look at it and kind of proofread it and see if there's anything else you want in it, and we can get it all changed if we need to, and then we can go ahead and send it in.
Sounds
right.
good.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
meeting.
Thank you.
See ya.
Have a
Bye,
nice
guys.
See ya.
evening.
You too.